This is such an exciting session. I don't want to wait any time. I told him I'm going to give him the most subpar introduction of all time, and that's what I'm about to do. Welcome a person that is creative and brilliant and good at the stuff that he is passionate about, Bo Burnham, everybody!
Hooray! Hello, everybody. Hi, Grace.
Hi, Bo.
Please sit.
We don't have to touch. We're both from the East Coast, so it's all good. We understand. Whoa, no socks.
I'm a rebel.
Wow. All right.
Who needs a face with ankles like these? Am I right, y'all? Come on.
Your ankles are made for radio. They're really great.
All right, it's on.
Bo, the first thing I have to say is welcome back to YouTube.
Appreciate it. I've been there the whole time. I've been watching.
No, you started this.
It's short for video conference, correct? No.
No.
Yeah, no, I've been on YouTube. I've been watching a lot.
You've been observing like a creeper?
More of an observer than a maker for but
you started it all. I just want you guys to know, we're going to take some audience questions in a little bit, but we have the hashtag VidCon 8th grade. If you guys tweet any of your questions, trust me, I'm not being rude looking on my phone. I'll be looking for your questions if you have them. So by all means, anything that comes to mind, please use the hashtag, and I'll try and find it throughout this session.
Did you pick the pictures? Your picture's great. I look like a murderer.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I look like a young caveman.
Where are you there?
I'm staring into my father's eyes. I have no idea.
Yeah, I am too. Alexa complex. Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay, so how many of you have seen the movie 8th grade? What the what?
How did you see it? Where did you see it? South by Southwest. Cool.
Oh, okay. If you had one word to describe the movie, what would it be? There you go.
Cool. Inside joke, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to ask all the standard questions first. I actually have a printout of the questions I've been asked to ask you, if that's okay. So explain to us what 8th grade is.
It's a grade between 7th and 9th. Now, is there are we showing a trailer?
Is
there a trailer or no? Or we show that after? There isn't one. All right, well, picture a 13-year-old girl. Truly, it's a movie about a 13-year-old girl in her last week of 8th grade, sort of trying to bridge the gap between what she thought she would be by that point and what she actually is.
And it takes place in present day.
Yes, yeah.
And so, yeah, I have no idea what time it is either. So what made you want to write and direct a movie like this?
I want to work with people again. You know, I did theater.
Get out of the cave?
Yeah, exactly. Get out of my own head cave. It was really, I did theater all my life, and I loved working with people, and then I did comedy for a long time, and I was very tired of my own head and my own face. And I wanted to use other people's faces. So yeah, no, but it really was that, wanting to just work with people again. And that's what a movie did.
But where did this, so this is such a, I watched it and I sobbed because I dealt with that 8th grade experience as a young girl trying to fit in. Spoiler alert, it's very, very overwhelming and even now I don't understand the pressures of social media in terms of like, your most important time of your life trying to figure out who you are.
Yeah, it's already really difficult to be an 8th grader.
Yeah.
And to be an 8th grader now, it seems
And you
impossible.
portrayed it so well, and it resonated with me so much. What made you make the main character female?
It wasn't like a choice, it just felt right. The research for the movie was just watching hundreds of videos of kids talking online about themselves.
Really?
And I sorted it by upload date, not view count or relevance, because like, I was interested in talking about kids that aren't being seen. We tend to only talk about people on the internet that go viral. And like, as someone that went viral, it's not that interesting, you know, and a majority of people online are expressing themselves to not large audiences, and I think they should be talked about too and portrayed as well. But I watched hundreds of these videos of kids. The boys talked about Minecraft and the girls talked about their souls, so I was like, okay, well, I think I'm just saying the movie about a boy would just be like 90 minutes of Fortnite references or something. So
it would just be a Twitch stream would be the whole movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, so it just like, I found more commonality in the girls of that age just because they tend to run a little deeper. Sorry if you're a 13-year-old boy. I'm sure there's some sensitive 13-year-old boys out there.
No, you're allowed to be sensitive, and you will also resonate with this movie.
Yeah, exactly. And really, I didn't want it to be, a lot of movies about young people feel nostalgic. They feel like memories of the adults that are making them, and I didn't want it to be that. I wanted it to be like, I was never a 13-year-old girl. I was also never a 13-year-old right now, and I think both of those things are different than what it was for us when we were younger. So it was like...
but also, your teenage years are different than most people. So segue into the fuck your career is. It's nuts. I remember watching you in your attic. Sorry, that's a sentence I should finish.
Yeah, exactly.
Sing songs about...
You're such a good climber.
Yeah, thank you. Strong arms. No, sing songs about algebra and math and thinking that this was like the coolest, most interesting thing. And then I read online, correct me if I'm wrong, because you got to change your Wikipedia if it's wrong, that you posted the first 2 videos for your family to watch.
For my brother, yeah, my brother. So in 2006, I don't know, some of you were like in utero.
Alive.
But like, I didn't know what YouTube was. You know, I made these, I had written these silly songs and wanted to show my brother who was at college. Yeah, but I mean, mostly weird. And I wanted to show my brother who was at college, and someone was like, oh, there's this site YouTube where you can post a video and then share a link with somebody. I mean, truly, that's what I was doing. So yeah, that's what I did. I'd send it to my brother, and then it became something else.
So what are your feelings? I mean, I'm sure you answered this 10,000 times, but after that, because you have one of the most interesting career trajectories to me as a person that started in comedy and found YouTube, someone that's found YouTube and then like diverted to comedy. What was the pivot process for you from doing YouTube videos and then deciding I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to like work on stand-up and do traditional comedy?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my videos were sort of one take, me setting it up, so they kind of felt like performances anyway. But yeah, I just always done theater, so I was interested in doing it on stage. And I kept doing YouTube, but I would just find that like a song would work really better in the room live if they hadn't heard it already. That was all that happened, so that's why I started to pull away from it a little bit. But I don't know. I think they're similar. I think like YouTube is easier to translate to the stage than television or movies or something, because there's something, you're in control of it, and it's just you, and it's sort of unfiltered. So it wasn't that weird. It was just like, okay, you know, instead of setting up my little camera on like a stack of textbooks, I just went on stage and I don't know, said whatever I said. Who knows?
Perfect. Really good at talking into a microphone.
Yeah, I can't. As you can see, like my memory's literally faded away with the volume. I like don't even remember. I was 17. I don't know what I was doing.
My favorite thing is that one, you had these amazing videos that like went viral, and then I remember watching YouTube Live, like the first live event, and you could not be more fucking bored to be performing with Katy Perry than I've ever seen anyone. I remember like logging in on my parents' computer and being like, "This is Bill Burnham and Katy Perry." Oh, he doesn't want to be there. Oh shoot.
No, well, she was lying on my piano, and she was like, it just introed me, and she was like, he's 18 at least. And I was like, aren't you a Christian artist? Because like she was at the time. I was like, what is happening? Yeah, that was in some airport hangar in San Francisco. It was so weird.
No, I felt this weird pride that you were already over the industry of YouTube, and they had just introduced Katy Perry to it, and you're like, I don't need this.
Well, it was
what am I doing?
But that, yeah, YouTube Live was crazy. It was very weird. It was like, here's Tayzon Day and the ShamWow guy wrestling, and you're like, what? It's like, it felt very strange. It was like, yeah, like people like, yeah, it was
yeah,
it was
no,
a lot.
that you were a puppet to perform for people.
Well, then this Katy Perry, we didn't really know who Katy Perry was at that point. It was all very weird.
It was a wonderful hybrid. If you haven't seen it, highly suggest you go back and Google that. And look at the disdain on his face the entire time. Oh, it's really great. Okay, so then you went from, take us through your timeline, and this is no ego, but just take me through your timeline, because you made like 3 EPs and 2 comedy specials. 3.
Yeah, well, I basically, yeah, so I graduated high school 2008, and then I did my first half-an-hour special for Comedy Central, like that summer. And
which is nuts, because how old were you?
I was, just turned 18. Yeah, that was part of the gimmick, though. I mean, it wasn't
that
like,
you're young.
Yeah, I'm just like, ooh, you know.
Well, you're not the Walmart Yodel boy, so back off.
Yeah. So that, and then, Yeah, I did an hour-long special for Comedy Central called Words, 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 and then I did a special for Netflix called What that I also put on YouTube. For, that was the whole thing, is that I was going to put my whole hour-long. A lot of people don't think, everyone thinks of What as a Netflix special, but it is a YouTube special. Like, the whole point of that is I told them I'm going to post this thing for free online, and then, like, as this big statement, and then everyone just thought it was, like, pirated, like a pirated version of it.
Yeah.
So that didn't work, and I just, couldn't, whatever. I should have just taken the money. And then I made a show for MTV called Zach Stone's Gonna Be Famous. I did a season of that, and then I did another special for Netflix, and then a movie, and then I sat on a white couch with you.
And then, you're here on these porn seats with us.
Yeah, they're strange. I don't really get it, yeah.
No, your TV show, I want to talk about a little bit, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Zach Stone's Gonna Be Famous.
There's a guy filming. I should get used to that. Sorry.
That was for MTV, and so that was your first like scripted series with a network.
Yes.
So what is the difference between working on your own specials, your own EPs, your own YouTube videos, versus working with a network with a brand that already exists and trying to insert whatever your idea is into it?
Yeah, it's a bummer, and it's not really a bummer though. It's good to learn to work with people.
Your show is great.
Oh, I appreciate it. Oh,
Just
thank you.
so you know, yeah.
Oh, it's nice. Well, like, yeah, I'm not too prickly against notes and people collaborating. Like, even if people are coming from the wrong place, it's good to hear criticism. It's good to revise things. It's good to return to it a second time. And even if the note isn't right, which, for MTV, the notes were sort of like, sexualize the teenagers. And I was like, no, thank you. But, maybe it made me think a purple shirt would be better. Yeah, I know. Is this all Viacom? Am I dead or something? Whatever.
Yeah, hashtag Viacom, and I'll read all the questions out loud. Okay, one of the things that's really fascinating to me is because you have worked on your own specials, you've done your own TV shows, and now you're directing other specials. Like Chris Rock directed your special?
I directed his, no. He didn't
Oh,
direct
you
I directed his,
Oh, God, I wish that was a joke, but that's real. Yeah, that's the reality of it, which is nuts. So before any of the Chris Rocks enter your world, how do you choose the people that you work with? Because that's my biggest issue, is like figuring out the most like creative, fun people and like the best collaborative kind of efforts. Like, how do you
people
make
you
those
can
decisions?
be around? I mean, really, people you can be around.
Tolerate? Okay.
Really, no, totally. Like, people that you can spend time with and not get furious at. Really, are like friends. People that you can talk with for a long time. I think that's the best way to do it. Because, like, yeah, you know what toxic creative environments are like. And you can, but also, like, for young people here, like, it's the same thing that you felt making this stupid little skit in your bedroom. And, like, you are learning the creative process very early. I found that, like, 10 years in my career or whatever, I'm going, I finally found what I want to do, and it's the stuff I was doing in theater when I was 15 years old. So, like, yeah, I think it's just trying to simplify it and not trying to overthink it. Try to surround yourself with like people that have strengths where you have weaknesses. Just like be around people you don't want to kill. Like truly, people you don't want to fight with. I mean, because that is really
put that on a pillow. Be
but
around
it really
people
is what
you don't
destroys
kill.
things. It does. Like, I mean, you've had it too, I'm sure, where it's just like that's where the toxicity comes from. Not creative differences. It's like personal differences. So just
for sure. So you went to prep school.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Just wanted to put
it's a real riches to riches story.
Yeah. A real the stepsisters in Cinderella's story. Yeah, that's your story. Okay, let me talk or ask about casting a little bit.
You can ask about the prep school too.
No,
my mom is a nurse, so I got to go for free. I actually couldn't have afforded to go, but yeah.
Wait, how? What?
My mom is the nurse at the school, so I got free tuition, so I got to go for free.
Oh, okay. So did you feel like an outsider observing all these kids that went to prep school because they were like...
No, I'm still like a skinny white kid.
Got it. Yeah, you still have total privilege.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm a tall white kid. I didn't feel like an outsider.
Just wanted to double check. Okay. No, I wanted to talk a little bit about the casting process for 8th grade because Elsie K. Fisher, who is the lead in this, she's amazing. She's absolutely incredible. How did you find, like, what was your process for casting someone like that? Because I'm sure that was the crux of the whole.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, totally. I wanted kids that were actually that age. Like, I hate watching movies about young people with kids that are, 20 and 25
Don't watch 90210.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's gonna bum you out. Yeah.
It's like, because I just think the way you look back on that age is not the same way you I wanted it to feel like someone looking out from their experience, not someone looking back on their experience.
Yeah.
So we met everybody. We met a ton of kids, and she was sort of the only one that played them, because Kayla's very shy. The character's very shy and socially anxious.
Yeah.
And she was the only one that felt like a shy kid pretending to be confident. Every other young actor felt like a confident kid pretending to be shy. You know, because like there's just like the space of young actors are psychos.
Real. Yeah. Oh yeah, and child actors, are crazy people.
Are a little crazy.
Yeah.
But it was just feeling the whole thing with kids, just like trying to get all real, actual 13-year-olds into the thing. Most of the kids in the movie are from the actual school we shot at, or from the neighborhood.
Really?
And I would go up and I would meet with the kids every Saturday, just the extras, just to have a conversation with them. And I'd do like, I'd be like, "What's your name? Do you have a special talent?" And one girl, I said, "What's your name?" And she said her name. I said, "Do you have a special talent?" She goes, "I have eczema." So it's like, the whole point of the movie was just like, how do you get these kids in unprocessed? Because they're already so right for the role. Like they're they're hilarious and weird and stupid. So just like come on in without any judgment.
Also, what an inspiring young woman. Turn a negative into a positive.
I know, incredible.
I get rashes. They're pretty cool. Check them out. Okay, talk to me about directing versus performing. Because you directed this film, and you're obviously not the star in it. But what is the difference for you, mindset-wise, when you take on a directing job versus when you go on stage and you do stand-up?
Yeah, I mean, I like to act when I direct. I'm saying I like to try to act with the actors and be in it with them. It's, again, very similar to what it was when I was doing theater, when I just felt we were all working together and working through a scene, even if, not just the people that had lines are the ones contributing to it. But, yeah, it's just great to be able to attend to other people. Being a director is really just being a fan of other people's talents and just being a specific fan and attending to people and trying to have like a sort of contagious focus or a contagious passion, but not to like overly control things. And especially with this content, it's like you're not going to control 8th graders. You're not going to control 13-year-olds. Just like let them go and make sure they don't drown. Like that was truly my job. Like because there's a big pool party scene. It really was just like, just count the heads, make sure they're above water, and then I did my job. Like really was.
That's what they teach you at NYU. You guys can skip that whole semester. Don't worry. You just learned all of it right here. What was the first thing that you directed?
I co-directed my special and Make Happy, my own. And then the first thing I directed on my own was my friend Gerard Carmichael's HBO special. Yeah. And then Chris Rock's, and then this.
I'll pick up a couple names that you just dropped. We're going to open up to questions in a second, you guys. I'm going to run into the audience and then check Twitter to see if you guys have any specific questions for Bo. But let's do it now. If you guys have questions, raise your hands.
Don't be awkward. Yeah, go for it. Look at this. We're open.
Bam. My legs work.
I was just wondering if you learned anything from the 8th graders and just working with kids who are really real and weird, like the eczema girl.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole point was trying to just like defer to them always. I wrote a bunch of Facebook into the movie, and then they read the script and they were like, "No one uses Facebook." They were like, they were like, "What is this about my aunt?" And I was like, so like, yeah, I mean, it was all about learning from them, deferring to them. What I hate about movies about young people is that it feels like old people pretending, and it's like people, like young people in movies being like, "Oh my God, #savage," and it's like, ugh, like no one talks like that, and if they do, they're making fun of the fact that they would talk like that. So it really was just letting the kids lead. Like I would tell the kids, like, "All right, you're in an auditorium, heckle the principal," and kids would be like, "LeBron James." I'd be like, "What?" You know what I mean? So I was like, and it was just about like letting them lead, like so it was all learning, it was all learning.